All right, let's take a look at how to get the measurements needed by the program. First thing to do is locate the center of the connector piece. And the way to do that is to take a string, wrap it underneath the chin, and then bring it up kind of parallel to the ear and across the top of the head. And do that on both sides. We're going to make sure they cross somewhere in the center line of the head. And I'm going to mark this spot. Of course, you can't do that on a real kid's head, but I'll mark it for now. Next thing is to take some kind of compass and lay it on that spot. The key is now to get an idea what the angle is from that spot. I've got the 0 pointed right to the nose, and what the angle is down to the chin. I'm seeing about 80 degrees. All this can be adjusted later if it's not producing the right angle you want. But now that I've got that spot identified, I'm going to take several measurements. The first will be from that spot down to brow. And if you've got one of these metric tape measures, that's really great. If not, there's an alternative solution I'll show you in a minute. So set the measure on here. Start it at the dot that we just drew and down to the brow ridge. So we're seeing something approximating 170 millimeters. That's one measurement. Then from that same spot to the top of the ear, which looks to be about I'm reading this right. Yeah, 10, 20. So to about 160 millimeters, or is that 165? That's 155 millimeters. And then if you want the longer side pieces, you'd also measure from that center point down to the bottom of the ear, because we want to clear that with our measurement. So we're looking at about 215 millimeters. Then on the back of the head, there are two spots to measure to. First one is approximately where the curvature of the skull turns backward. So somewhere around in here, about 145 millimeters. And then for the longer pieces, if you're going to go with the neck band, then you go all the way down to where the neck kind of breaks down here. And that's about, make sure you're still on camera. That's about 240 millimeters. And that's really all you need are those measurements. To the brow, to the top of the ear, bottom of the ear, bottom only if you're using longer side pieces, to the curvature of the skull, so it starts coming back in, and then to the neckline if we want the longer ones, because then we want the elastic band coming up the side. And also getting that angle to the angle from that point over to the over in line with the front of the ear. So I also have a piece of paper that I'll send you that includes this compass as well as a measuring arm. I'll show you how to use that now. But I'll take a moment to cut this out. So I've got both pieces cut out. I'm going to connect them together, but I want to connect them in a way that they don't tear at the connection. So I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to put a small piece of tape on the front and on the back of each piece, right where the dot is. One there. One there. One there. And one there. Now, I'm going to take a nail. I'm just going to push it through where that dot is on the back of the long piece of paper. It comes through. Whoops. You'll see that it roughly lines up with this cross hatching here. Then the same thing with this. Put it through the back side. With luck, you're coming out somewhere around the center of the protractor. Then, what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is just get this, the angle of the ears. So our dot is right there on the head. I'm going to position the nail over that dot. I'm going to swing this piece around to where the ears are. Make sure you're on that dot again. And then I'm going to turn the protractor back again to where the thing is pointing forward. And now I'm actually seeing a little bit different angle. Well, it's pretty close to 80 again. So the center line here is what we care about, and it's pretty close to 80. Now I can take the protractor off because I don't need that anymore. And I'm going to make all the measurements by taking the nail head, putting it on the dot, just going down to the brow, make a mark, come over to the ear, make a mark. Note that it's a little higher than the first mark. You could be labeling these as you go. Then around the back, where everything curves, and we're done. Again, we could have done the same thing with the bottom of the ear, the neckline as well. So I have these 3 marks now. Don't need this anymore. Have these 3 marks, and I just compare them to a metric ruler. If you don't have a metric ruler, there's also a great piece of paper for that I'll send you the link to print out. Set one of the lines to the 0, and then just read off the measurements on the other end for each of those measurements you took.